All right, ladies and gentlemen, you know what time it is. It is 5-star matchups time. And we got to dive into this thing. So, real quickly, hit that like button like we always do. Subscribe if you have not done so. And definitely hit that notification bell. So, let's tap in real quick. This first matchup that we got to talk about for the 5-star matchups starts with Minkah Fitzpatrick versus Mark Andrews. Now, Mark Andrews is a all-world top 3 NFL tight end. The dude can do it all. He can block, he can run routes, combat catch, has the yak ability. He's one of those guys you have to give the right amount of attention to. You can't overlook this guy, but at the same time, Baltimore does really good things schematically to put you in a bind and ultimately to create some one-on-ones for him. So this is why my man Minkah Fitzpatrick becomes at the forefront right here. Because first off, Minkah is having an insane season. And he's coming off of an insanely productive game against the Atlanta Falcons, where we saw him have the game-winning interception, along with multiple productive plays. We even did a film session on it, man. But Minkah, he's going to be tasked at times with having eyes on Mark Andrews. And it's going to be some one-on-ones because of the play-action element, because of the run scheme element that the Ravens use. So Minkah's going to have to make sure he's disciplined, eyes on him. And Tyler Huntley, who it more than likely will be at quarterback on Sunday, he does have a problem with staring down Mark Andrews and ultimately forcing him the ball at times. And that is where Minkah really can shine because of his ability to just jump routes and make quarterbacks pay for their mistakes. So that's the first matchup that we got to be tuned in for. But now it's time to talk about the second matchup, and it starts up front for the Steelers on defense. And I'm talking about the Steelers front seven versus that Ravens rushing attack. Now, this attack is crazy because of the scheme. It is very much like what you see at the collegiate level. A lot of movement, a lot of fakes, RPOs, quarterback heavily involved in the running game. Now, it is very different in terms of the effectiveness and efficiency of it when it's Lamar Jackson out there versus Tyler Huntley. And because of Lamar dealing with his knee injury, if he does give it a go on Sunday, we at least anticipate him being compromised in some way, shape, or form. So with that, that does make us feel extremely confident in this area. But the thing with Baltimore is this: even with it being Tyler Huntley, they still run the ball at an extremely high level. It doesn't matter who's out there in the backfield because of the injuries that they've had. They've rolled through those guys. But at the same time, their commitment to it, how intentional they are, and they're designed to be a physical team. That is one of the things that makes this rushing attack so unique and so effective. And it ultimately keeps them in a lot of games. It was really one of the reasons why they were able to win last week against the Denver Broncos, just keeping them on schedule. So for us defensively, it's going to be important for our front seven to be buttoned up in terms of the physicality. You got to match their energy. Number two, the speed in which that the Ravens play with on offense, because it is very fast, and in the sense of when they get rolling, it's like cause they're trying to snap that rock. And then the third thing is just making sure you're disciplined with your eyes. If you have the quarterback, eyes on him. If you have the dive, eyes on that dive running back, man. But see what you're supposed to be seeing, because this is an offense that can hurt you if you guess wrong. So, with that being said, let's move on to that third matchup. And I got to talk about Kenny Pickett versus Marlon Humphrey and Marcus Peters. Now, Kenny has had 4 games in a row. No turnovers. Man, that is awesome. He's been continuing to grow and improve each and every week. It has been awesome. In fact, did a film session on that, man. Check that out if you have not done so just yet. But the thing that we do still want to see more from him is his ability to connect downfield, his ability to challenge DBs, his ability to throw NFL open routes. And that's the area in his game where he's continuing to expand, but we want to see more of it. We want to see him connect instead of having these near misses that we've been seeing a little bit more frequently than we would like to right now. And, you know, when you talk about a guy like George Pickens, a guy like Deontay Johnson, Pat Frymouth, you have multiple weapons out there. And it's going to be on Kenny to utilize those guys, because I don't think we're going to be able to just dominate and have this impact on the ground like how we've had in the previous weeks. So when you're talking about putting the ball in the air, this is very dicey because Marlon Humphrey and Marcus Peters are as good as advertised. We know who Marcus Peters is, man. This guy has just a crazy amount of interceptions because he sees the ball extremely well. He has great ball skills and he's not afraid to take chances. Marlon Humphrey, he is the more buttoned up, just complete total package, high end cornerback one. Everything you want in a corner, that is Marlon Humphrey, and he's playing just like that right now as well. But the thing is, that is how you attack this team, man, because as well as they're playing, Marcus Peters, we know with him, man, at times his eyes are in the backfield and he is susceptible to the double moves. When you're talking about, Marlon Humphrey, we know he's a really good DB, but at the same time, you can get yardage on him. We've seen Deontay have success against him before. So it's really going to be important for Kenny to be locked in to not allow those guys to make plays on the football that could hurt us. But at the same time, you cannot fear those guys either. So, got to challenge them. Be careful, though. But this is one of those ones where if Kenny can win these matchups right here versus those two DBs and not allow them to create that splash play, that turnover, man, this could be a great day for the Pittsburgh Steelers offensively. Now, the fourth matchup that we're going to lock in on, got to look up front, baby. Protection. Dan Moore, baby. What's happening? Okay, so we got to talk Dan Moore versus Justin Houston and potentially Jason Pierre-Paul, because let's be real, both of those guys historically are elite pass rushers. Both of these guys Super Bowl champs. Both of these guys can get it done at a high level, can win one-on-ones, high pedigree guys. They check every box you want. Jason Pierre-Paul, obviously, they just signed him a couple of weeks ago, but his impact is already being felt. I think he has 2 sacks in the last couple of weeks that he's been playing in, and he was very impactful last week against the Denver Broncos. Justin Houston, 9 sacks. It does not matter where you play him. He's going to get after the quarterback. That's what he does, and he is not slowing down, even at the age of 33. Now, when we talk Dan Moore, we know that at times Dan has looked really good, but also at times Dan has struggled. And this is one of those ones where he is going to be tasked with 2 very unique players, man, because they just know how to rush. They understand strengths and weaknesses. They understand their own strengths and weaknesses, and they don't shy away from what they're good at. And that's the thing for Dan Moore, where he's really going to have to be buttoned up to protect Kenny, because the Ravens, man, when you play Baltimore, it's always going to be a tight contest, man. Very, very physical. And the team that wins the turnover battle more than likely wins the game in this rivalry matchup particularly. So with that, man, it's going to be critical for Dan to not allow these guys, either one of them, to beat him. Now, the thing that I like for Dan is he typically struggles with the speed rushers, because that's what gets him playing faster than he's wanting to. And then it just makes his technique and fundamentals not be as effective or as good as they should be. With Justin Houston and Jason Pierre-Paul, neither one of them are the most bursty, twitchy guys at this stage in their career, but they are very skilled in their craft. So that's the dynamic where Dan is going to have to really, like I said, be locked in, but it's going to be a different challenge facing them than some of the rushes that he's faced in previous weeks. So, hold it down for us, Dan Moore. Hold it down. But now it's time that we talk about this 5th and final 5-star matchup. And we got to roll with the guy that's coming off of his best performance of the season, Najee Harris, man. Now, I know he's listed as questionable, or he's been up and down throughout the week in practice. But hey, guess what? Last week was the same thing, and that produced great results for us. So hopefully we're going to get that same exact impact. But he has a monster of a matchup this week, man, when you're talking about the inside linebacker tandem of Roquan Smith and Patrick Queen. Those 2 dudes, yeah, they're like that. The productivity is there. The pedigree is there. They are as good as advertised. They are going to make a strong case for being the best inside linebacker tandem in the NFL. I mean, it's pretty special when you watch those dudes on tape, just because their ability to be rangy. They're physical. They can cover. They're sideline to sideline. They're very instinctive, and they're not afraid to take chances, man. And this is where the matchup, when you're talking about how Najee versus those 2 guys roll, man, they're going to win their fair share, man, because of how they play. But Najee, the physicality, that's the difference. That's the great equalizer in this matchup, because both of those guys are really good, but they are still on the smaller side, more particularly Patrick Queen. And those are the guys that, man, you got to just lean on them. You have to fall forward every time you're playing against them, man. And if you do that, maybe the accumulation changes it, but we got to win this more than we don't win this one, man, because those two guys can be game changers. Those two guys can really shut down a run game and make your offense one-dimensional. And we cannot have that against this Ravens team. So for Najee, man, I need you, baby. I need you running that super-duper physical, stiff arm, and whoever you need to jump. Don't jump unless we're scoring touchdowns. But other than that, run through them. All right, we need physicality from the start of this thing, all right, because that sets the tone. And against those two type of guys, you got to let them know early. I'm punching you in the mouth. I'm not trying to do no dancing. I'm not trying to do the cute sideline to sideline athlete game with you. This is going to be a dog fight. So let's make it happen, baby. But those are my 5 key matchups, 5-star matchups for the Steelers versus the Ravens on Sunday. But you let me know what matchups you're looking at, what matchups you think we should be having our eyes set on as well. And as always, I appreciate you for tuning in. And until next time, baby, peace.